Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from your planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. If you touch as a breeze at night, all I really want in my life. Oh yeah, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl? Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make her heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
we done enough.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige. Welcome back. Shout out to you. Welcome. Let me see who is in the chat already. I have Marcia Smith. Good to see you. She says hello. D-Love, my G. How you doing? Hello, everyone. Please hit the like button as you're coming in. Yes. Hit the like button as you're coming in. Do me a favor. As you're coming in right now, hit the like button. Share. Let everybody know that it's the weekend. We're hanging out. We're having fun. We're talking about a few things here today. As a matter of fact, in about a few minutes, I'm going to drop the link. I want you all to call in today. Let's have a conversation. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about some of the hottest trendy topics around relationships. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of conversations out in internet land. People are speaking up. Let me make sure you can hear me. All right, good. So people are speaking up. People are speaking out. Men are speaking up. Men are speaking out. Okay. It used to be that men bottle a lot of stuff inside, but they're speaking up. Lots of valid conversations going on all sides of the equation. Even children are speaking up. Okay. Long after they are no longer children. There's a lot of people suffering from emotional traumas, from relationships. And that's what we come here to discuss. We discuss relationship with respect to power. We talk about self, relationship, self-power, social, emotional intelligence. We talk about seduction and attraction. And we need to sort through some of this stuff before we can even really talk about marriage or any other thing, because honestly it's not working. Right and wrong, black and white, I mean, we all know what's wrong and what's right, and somehow we're struggling. Okay, as a generation, as a people, as a species, we're struggling, and it's obvious. You can look around you, you can see it. Okay, like for example, today right now there's a big rumor going on, and you see a lot of people literally saying that they wouldn't, if this particular couple, if the rumors happens to be true, that they will no longer believe in love and marriage. So it's not that no longer believe in love and marriage that's the issue. The issue is actually deeper than that, as usual. But welcome back. This is the Man of Prestige. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. And like I said, we're going to be having a little bit of conversation today. If you haven't signed up for the 30-day boot camp, it's free. Okay? Maybe once we start charging for it, maybe you pay attention, but it's free. Go and sign up right now. All right? I'm just waiting. Okay? I'm just waiting. It's just a little flip. Then we start charging for it. And then, maybe you pay. I know by default that when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So, but I also wanted as many people as possible during this promo to get access to it. Okay, it's a 30-day virtual boot camp. You spend 5 to 12 minutes per day with me, learning how this stuff works. Okay, or you can just wait until you have some experience. Maybe then you can run back to this. But people are struggling, like I said. So, and the truth is that there are also people that are enjoying relationships, marriage, romantic relationships. There are people, they just tend not to be on the internet, but this is what I do, so why not, right? So welcome. If you're not yet in the WhatsApp group, join the WhatsApp group. You can use this link, lolanola.com/WhatsApp, right from your phone. It will take you right into the group. Or if that doesn't work, you can send a WhatsApp text message to 732-305-8577, country code +1. All right, now let's talk again, do me a favor. Just go ahead and ping everyone into the room. How do you do that? Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Let's talk about this today. Timilade, hey Timilade. Timilade says, "Is it the same Timilade? Did you take off your picture?" I prefer that people have pictures on, or unless you didn't already have it. But if you used to have picture, don't be afraid. Just leave it on. She said, "I hope it's not true. My heart is bleeding." Yeah, don't let it be. We don't know if it's true. I doubt if it's true. In fact, the people we're talking about, I'm going to just go ahead and let's talk about that. It's trending right now. I think we should just go ahead and jump into that part of the... But anyway, today is a good day. Today, please, if you hear anything that you find value in, or you want to continue to support us, anything like that, please feel free. I encourage you to support by way of super chats, Cash Apps. You can see that scrolling on the screen right now. The Cash App here, shout out to who was asking the other day. So now I now have it as a banner here. I can always post it. The Cash App is Man of Prestige, $ Man of Prestige right there. But also feel free, you can support financially using the super chat buttons. Once I say anything, or somebody says anything, or you really get to a point you're like, wow, this is a good session, right? And you want to support, please, we encourage it. Okay, but let's talk about the rumors around Banky W. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Yeah, so okay, so today Putin, Russia is trendy, but then the Banky W is trendy as well. Why is Banky W? Let me show you. Like, why is it trendy? Now, last night I came across something, a post on Instagram. Is it last night or this morning? I don't even remember anymore. Okay. Last time I came across a post, and let me see if I can show you really quickly, and I'll just read it to you, so we can come up to speed on what we're talking about, right? Let me see, where is it? There you go. Jeans lover. Jeans lover. Let me see. Shout out to D. Let me pardon my manners, I beg. Don't mind me. D says, "Hey, beautiful Prestige family. Good to see you, D. Good to see you. Being hard catching lies because I'm studying for some really intense qualifying exam. Shout out to you. I like it." Oh gosh, what happened? I don't know. We don't know. And also, I haven't seen anything that confirmed that it's Banky W, but somehow people are saying it's Banky W. I doubt it. I just doubt it. Okay. Not because I trust Banky W, but I doubt it. Okay. She says, consistently on the replay. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. All right. We try to keep you 1 hour now. So during the week, we try to keep you 1 hour because we know you guys are busy. But today, listen, I don't know. Okay. We're just I'm going to have a good time because I got some stuff to react to. And especially if you are going to call in, then, it's going to be fun. But anyway, Kasala, is it Kasala? Kasala, don't bust or read caption. I'm just going to read the caption to you so you can come up to speed. This is what everyone is running around the internet speculating about, okay? But I doubt. I'm going purely off of my feelings. I just don't know. My feelings are like everybody else's feelings. It can be inaccurate, but I just doubt it. It's not lining up. You know how a prophet will say, nah, all of that, right? So there's no, I don't know. I can absolutely be wrong with this. I don't have any specific reason why I doubt it. I don't think so, But anyway, hello, Tue. Another Kasalago soon busto. Now men like these, they make blessing rubber nyash. They nya dust. Saying aside. Speaking of blessing CEO, right? She had some things to say about about what keeps a marriage together. The Nya Dust say na side end the old marriages. That means side chicks that old marriages. She says, story. Once upon a time, there was a man. He's very handsome, yellow pawpaw. That means light-skinned person. That's just a slang, okay? It's not colorism. It's just a slang from where we're growing up. Yellow pawpaw, a light-skinned man, okay? And a musician, okay? He was dating a lady who loves him, gone. But one thing led to another, and that's how the babe followed another man. Uncle's heart was broken, okay? And there was one lady forming bestie with him from one corner. He shall find solace in bestie, and they started shifting each other's pants. Okay, you know what that means, Abi? This shifting pata. But Uncle was telling his friends that Auntie Bestie is too wild for him and that he can't marry Auntie Bestie. I'm translating pidgin to English, so you know. So that's why I'm a little in between and I'm taking my time. Fast forward to a few months later, Uncle found another fine, innocent lady. They started a relationship and it led to marriage. In fact, the whole of Nigeria loves their marriage and tap into it oftentimes. All along, Uncle kept Auntie Bestie as a side chick. Always seeing each other, knocking each other's boots off. Auntie side chick refuses to get married, hoping that one day her status will change. She's based in the US and she's as important as Uncle's wife. Okay. Our musician turned politician is always sending her money, and Auntie side chick bestie, right, shuffles between Nigeria and US. Whenever she's around, Uncle camps her in a hotel. That doesn't sound like BANKY W. Make we no write plenty epics too. That means, so long story short, this has been happening for years, and Uncle is 100% good in hiding traces from his wife. That's another reason why I don't think they will reference years. I know BANKY has been married for a couple of years now. I just don't think they will reference him as married for years. Okay. Side chick got pregnant. Okay, wait. Let me go back. I went too far. Auntie side chick refuses to get married, hoping that one day her status will change. She's based in the US and she's as important as Uncle's wife. Musician turned politician is always sending her money. And Auntie side chick shuffles between Nigeria and US. Whenever she's around, hotel. And this has been happening for years. And Uncle is 100% good in hiding traces from the wife. Side chick got pregnant twice and deleted it. The annoying thing for this whole matter is that Uncle's mouth is like cho. He talks too much, and anything that happens in his marriage, the side chick will get an update, which gives this Olori Buruku Adie Agbepamo side chick upper edge, and she started calling herself Mrs. Kinikon, Mrs. something, Mrs. this and that, the US chapter. Long story short, now side chick is pregnant again, and this time around she insisted on not removing or deleting the belly. That means the stomach. Or pregnant. Anyway, Uncle has been running helter-skelter, even begged her, saying he won't do again. But I guess it's too late. The side chick has been threatening to go public with the belly, and the matter fit cast any moment. That means the kasala fit bust any moment. Information reaching our headquarters is that uncle has been cold like ice lately, seeing waiting internet children use Yul Edochie's IC. That means seeing what the internet did with Yul Edochie. So he's cold, he doesn't know what's coming. Their own go want pass Yul own because the wife get fans full everywhere. Okay, so the fan has it. So now what I noticed that as soon as I saw it, I think I saw it within an hour, and in the comments people started mentioning. Now the first person that said Banky W was my wife. I don't know why she thought of. I didn't get it. I'm like, what? Huh? This story does not sound like Banky W. What are you talking about? I don't know Banky personally. We've met a few times, but I don't know him personally like that. I know people that know Banky. I have friends. We have mutual friends. It's not that guy, right? It's not that guy. So I understand when people start to say, I give up on marriage and love if this happens to be true, So it's crazy that people. So my wife said that, and then I'm looking in the comment, and I'm like, now my wife mentioned another mutual friend. I'm not going to mention her name right now. That there was some kind of rumors around her and Banky in the day. I'm like, nah. I was like, if this was this and that, then they would have mentioned this other superstar's name. And I was like, all right. So there you go. So this person says, now forgiveness, Banky go preach next Sunday. Voila. So the people are trolling Banky with this. They're trolling. Let me come to the chat really quickly. I think I'm missing something. Let's see. Before we continue, okay. This is hot. Okay, so why do you doubt it though, Mr. Ola? Yeah, I think I've just, I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. It doesn't connect for me. MOP, don't doubt anything. Edakun. Ọkùnrin, they take them easy again. That's the angle you want to go, That's what. That's the angle you want to go, Men has come. Is that where you're going with this? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willie? What are you talking about? Listen, no one is perfect, man. Anyone can misyam, misdo, misbehave. That's the honest, absolute truth, right? I'm just saying my opinion off of what I've known so far, extremely limited information, right? It's not connecting, okay, for me, okay? Some things just connect. You just kind of know, right? This guy is also a pastor. In fact, just today, let me even see. Let me show you. If I go to Banky's page right now, you can see that I checked earlier. What did he post? He said, "Don't miss church tomorrow." He just posted that 9 hours ago. Okay, that doesn't sound. That doesn't sound like a person who is under any kind of stress. Okay, I'm sorry, it just doesn't sound like it. Let me go back there again. Right? Yeah, it's not adding up. All right, so Banky has been pushing himself as a potential pastor in training, very serious. Listen, there's only so much time in a day, right? There's only so much energy that human beings have. There's certain types of people that just have time for BS, bullshit, right? And there's some people you could just tell how they move that, it's not like they couldn't, but they don't have time for that, And that's why it's not adding up. There you go. Looking at my battery rundown here. So I don't see it. When did he post this? He posted this May 23. There are people that will happily look at this and say, yeah, that's how they all form on the internet. No, that's your fault. There's some things we can tell. There's some people, you can just see that it's not there. They're faking it. All right. And if you can't, then we should be talking about you not being able to tell. But there's some people that some things have busted in the past, and you're like, yeah, no. Now you can go back to Yola Doce and say, but we couldn't tell. They're like, not exactly. It's, not exactly. Energy. There's only so much energy available for BS and time, right? So there's some people that just don't have the time for it. Just honestly, just off of simple, there's not enough time for it. No resources for that. Right? Either we're talking money, time, or energy, right? Now, they did say in the post that he's figured it out. He hid it from his wife. Hotel, camping in hotel. Doesn't sound like Banky W to me. Sounds more like, if you say Two-Face is camping hotel with somebody, yes. If you say the band is camping hotel with somebody, okay, maybe. If you say Korede Bello is camping in hotel with somebody, I'm like, tell me more. It's not like it's impossible, but I like, tell me more. If you say Spyro, right? Who is your guy? If you say he's camping hotel with somebody, I'm like, If you say, well, Inyanya was camping hotel with somebody last week, I'm like, do you have any other thing that's newsworthy that we can talk about, right? There's just some things you can just, that you can still be wrong, but you can pretty much see that that could make sense, right? This same GLB once alluded to Banky being agege, so, and then he got married, right? That's before he got married, right? Well, being married doesn't mean you're not, but I see your point, D. Yep, doesn't connect either. I knew it. D Love, I know you know what I'm talking about. They seem to have a great relationship, but we know they dear, So I always leave room. It's possible, of course, it's possible. But if I know Siam, this is one of those cases where you're like, nah. Now, some people, do you guys know who Niola is? You guys know who Niola is? Me King, hello. She says, I really don't want it to be Banky. Right? I really don't want it to be Banky. Right? So it's not like I don't want it to be Banky. For me personally, I don't care. If he committed, he go collect. That's just how life works. Especially, gentlemen, you know this. This is how real life works, right? So I don't care. I don't know them like that. But I see what you mean. You really don't want it to be Banky. I think many people, when you look at this picture, you definitely don't want it to be Banky. Right? You fantasize about this. I am Bisola says, I go love. Yep. Hilda Bachi, the cook, they herself. You see all of them, Ebuka, they herself. Like Ebuka is not a guy who will camp hotels. It's possible, but I don't see it. Right? There's some things you can see, some things I can't see. I can't see everything. Some things belong in my blind spot, and rightfully so. I'm just saying, from what I can see, I don't see it. Right? Right? You see all of them here. Everybody is loving up on them. They like it. Right? So there's a part of a man's brain, especially someone with the type of personality that I can see just off of the screens with Banky W, that the last thing they want to do is disappoint all of these people. They actually take pleasure. They get a lot of their energy from looking a certain way, looking like they can serve, right? Particularly looking like they can serve, right? That's why that's why I think he negotiated successfully with Wizkid. That's why he's a politician now. That's why he's also trying to be a pastor from an inspirational, spiritual standpoint. There's only so much time in the day, okay? In fact, if a man doesn't want to misbehave, he wants to get it right. This is actually what I suggest to them. I said, don't put yourself on a pedestal. You're a man like me, like everybody else, right? And you have certain tendencies. You can misbehave if you put yourself in certain positions. You need to occupy your time with productive things, because there's only so much time and energy left available for BS. Okay? Some people say, oh yeah, you can just be disciplined. I said, good for you. If you want to count on your ability to be disciplined, if you want to count on your own righteousness, which is basically A poto. Okay, your own righteousness is power. Wait, I have some new poto videos. So shout out to Chinye. Where's Chinye? Chinye, where you there now? Where is Chinye? Not you there. I know D is here. Where is Embassy? Tima. Yeah, I do have. I have some new poto videos. Shout out to Chinye for this ones. I'm looking for, I think there's another one that I have that I really like. Let's see. Let's see. Right. Okay, this one I really like this. Yeah. So your righteousness is poto. You're not that. Stop deceiving yourselves. Okay. If you find yourself, you're going through stuff at home, you find yourself somebody is soothing it and making, soothing you, rubbing you on the back of your head and making you feel like a king, and you're just righteous. Oh boy, you go fall poto. So it's about positioning yourself. You position yourself to win in life, not just in romantic relationships, in business. Ladies, the same thing goes for you, right? You go in the chat, it's like you're chatting with that ex from the high school. It's not, there's nothing there. It is really nothing. It's innocent. What is wrong with a little girl trip here and there? Okay, but it's just my friends. They are doing what they do. I don't do anything that they do. Straight in the poto. Don't deceive yourself. That's really all I'm trying to say there. Okay. Adebusala says, let me drop the link. I'll drop the link now. Sorry about that. Let me drop the link for anybody who wants to come up. I guess I might be changing the what do you call it later on, the thumbnail and the title. Yeah. Listen, just like you guys are saying, it could be anybody, right? You just have to position yourself wrongly. You might just find yourself, it might just be a bad addiction that turned left, went completely wrong. You was gonna get right back. You didn't think it was gonna, you thought you'll be over it by now. Like, so are you in love with her? You're like, no, I'm not in love with her, but I don't know if I can let go, It was just a one-time thing, and then you use your own hands to destroy everything that you actually care about. Everything that you actually care about. So I have a question for you guys. Do you have any other people you speculate about that it could be? I don't think it's Banky W. Do you know any other? Do you know any other musician turned politician with a marriage that everybody's mouth waters around, right? Everybody fantasizes about this type of marriage. People love the wife. The wife also acts. I think there's a mention somewhere that the wife acts or something like that. I'm not sure. I've pinned the link to the top. If you want to come up, feel free. I have more than enough stuff to cover. But if you want to come up, you have opinions at any point in time, the link is at the top. And if somebody comes in the middle and they want to come up, just let them know the link is at the top. Yay. Let me see. So all the people you're mentioning ain't light-skinned. Wait, who's not light-skinned? Yellow purple. Did I mention anybody before? I don't think I mentioned anybody. Did somebody mention somebody in the chat? You have someone else that you're thinking about that it could be? We need to focus on the light-skinned artist who is in politics. Yeah, all those people. Yeah, I know. I was just giving an example. I see when I was saying Yanya and stuff. Yeah, I know. You're right. Right. So I wasn't speculating on who it could be. I'm just saying those people. If you said those people, I would believe. So, but yes, you're right. I'm still in limbo too. Like, who could it be? Right. So Banky suits the description, but I really don't want it to be. Oh, making. I know. D-Law say Abi is B-Red. He said B-Red popular. And is he a politician? His father is a politician. Like, did somebody care about B-Red's marriage? B-Red is divorced now, right? I think so. Are they back together? B-Red now, he isn't so popular, and his wife really don't have fans. Plus, he isn't a politician. See, speculation. Doesn't fit. True, plus wife doesn't act. Exactly. So we don't know. We don't know. So do you guys know who Neyola is? Neyola, let me show you who Neyola is. Just in case you don't know. So Neyola used to be an artist on Banky W's label, along with Wizkid. What's the name of the other guy? I forgot now. Wizkid and a few other people on his label. I think she might have had one song that almost made it, but she really never made it to a point where, let me find this. There you go. This is Neyola right here. This is Neyola right here, right? This chick right here, right? So a lot of people are speculating that it's her, that she's the side chick that got pregnant, right? But again, I don't see it, and I don't think she's that type. She's a chick that's always talking about Jesus. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying. She's always talking about Jesus and Holy Spirit and all this crap on the internet, you know. So I don't see it. Yeah. It doesn't mean Jesus people don't do kerewa and do side chicks, so don't get it twisted. I just don't see it. Okay. But on Twitter, a lot of people are. Let me share this. So on Twitter, you see that Gist Lover is trending, and then Banky W is trending right next to it. But this is just for me. Let me see what's going on actually trending page. Yeah, this is just for me. But on trending, Banky W is trending number 2, right next to Putin, and it's not even a confirmed story. Is it that Nigerians are just hungry for really, really bad news like this? Is this what this indicates? Do we prefer terrible news around marriages and romantic relationships and stuff like that? Is that what this is telling us? I'm curious. What do you think? Is that what's going on here? Right? Why is the guy trending if his name is not being mentioned in the story? The description fits him. I get that. But trending number 2, right next to Putin, when there's war going on and there's a coup that's almost took out Putin today. Right? Why? Here's a question I'm asking. Yes, they were rumored to be dating in the past. Oh, okay, they were? That's Neyola, right? I didn't know that. She's an artist and used to be. I don't know. I think she bakes and she's light skinned like him. Oh, the side chick bakes and light skinned like him, but more of a caramel complexion. Wasn't she a signee at some? Yeah, she was signed to, what's the name? EME, right? Am I mistaken? That's Neyola lady. Yeah, that's what people are speculating on Twitter. I don't know why. Cynthia, hello. People are just heartbroken already. Yeah, like why is this trendy? Why is this trending when they haven't even mentioned his name? Why is this trending second, right? If they say Banky W, I think he might have even had a new baby, because if I look at this, right? Let me go back to this really quickly. Banky W, right? Recently, he has a picture. I'm not going to show too much of it. Well, he has a picture of him carrying the baby and rocking a baby in a seat at some point, right? I don't know if it's right. So I'm not sure if he has a new baby, but if he has a new baby today, now this is the Banky W that I know. This was him back in the days when he was in New York, right? Would he be trendy? If they say, oh, I know everybody go there, they love up on them, they click like, right? But it's not going to be trendy, right? If it was a Good thing, right? Yeah, it's not just Nigerians. I think it's everywhere. I think we're just hungry for terrible news, and it's just we respond more, maybe not hungry, but we respond more to terrible news more. Let me just be nice about that. Okay, we respond more to bad news. What did Banky do? Cynthia, you came late too. Maybe you have to rewind and put it on double speed. There's a speculation. Let me see if I can summarize. There's a rumor going around because there's a blogger speculating that some light-skinned yellow purple person cheated with a person, and then that person is pregnant now, and people actually love the wife, and people, there's gonna be trouble if people find out. That's what we're talking about. But there's a whole epistle around it. So I like Adesua and Banky together. Akpale, Temilade. Don't worry. They'll be fine. I don't think it's them anyway. GLB don't give us assignments. You should just tell us the name, cause me, I don't fail this test. Wahala. D. I met Bread's wife, part the baker and caramel complexion. Okay, I see. Banky is loved. I love my Banky and Adeo. Let's hope that it's not a surprise. Banky is just humans like the rest of us. Okay, let's just hope so. All right. What if the lady in question is their surrogate? Yeah, that would be stupid. You should never use anybody that's close to home as surrogate. I wouldn't. Okay, I just wouldn't. I know some people say, what's the big deal? Well, people will understand. No, I think people are mad, and they may get to a point they won't understand, and they will tell you to hell with your biology and your eggs. I know there are paperwork around it to protect you, but I still don't want that drama. Okay. Miss Angie says, if this gist is true, gist lover should own it full chest and put the names. Telling a story like this just leaves people to speculate. They're cute together, sha. I hope it's not true. Meeking says surrogate. That's conspiracy theory. Now I saw some. Let me just go into this on Twitter. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything hot. After spilling the fufu on Banky W, gist lover is just walking around like pop my collar. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so this is what he posted earlier that I showed you. Don't miss church tomorrow. Right? So now good day, all right. That doesn't sound like anybody under pressure. Do you remember when y'all was under pressure? They don't act like Banky W. They're not saying go to church tomorrow. Okay? That's not how that works. At best, they'll be quiet for a while. Okay, do you remember when what's his name was being dragged for being an agege? What's his name? Alex Ekubo. He went quiet. That's how that works. That's the best they can do. It's either they went quiet, they go quiet, or try to control narrative. The shout out to the legacy of the late Samuel Okposo. Do you remember when that news broke out? Okay, they don't act. They don't say, even Samuel Okposo, they don't say don't miss church tomorrow. That's not how that works. Okay, the best they can do is they said don't miss church tomorrow. So I really don't think it's the same, right? Sheon says, because Banky W cheated on Adesua, you say you no go believe in love again. The one where your parents they do in a skit. This is true. This is for real. You won't believe in love again just because something happens. Maybe you should have never believed in love in the first place and stay away from the idea of love and romantic love, because it's not going to work. Okay, I understand the fantasizing about a perfect, everybody is swimming like it's a Hollywood romantic movie. We're swim happily ever after, right? But even Banky W cannot claim that's the reality 100% of the time. He has, they shared the story on YouTube. Again, I listened to that story. Yeah, it doesn't sound like his name. Let's see. What else do we have here? What? Nah. See, everybody is tagging now. We don't know who is who. We do not know who is who. Let's see. I think I might have seen some. Okay. When two Baba and Banky W finally meet. My God, now you are the land from. Oh. Terrible. I don't like tire. Banky W, gist lover Yash. What? They had to bring this guy in. Was Tu Baba right? People that want to justify nonsense, they are there already, right? Was Tu Baba right when he said a man can love you to hell and back and still cheat? Is Banky W giving validity to Tu Baba? Just love, okay. Yeah, no, he was absolutely wrong. He's still wrong, particularly because he runs his mouth too much. He was talking too much. Okay, still wrong. Summary of what Gistlover did to Banky W with Niyola and Adesua. Violence. Let me see what this is.
No, we don't tell that. What would you like for the day? What would you like for the day?
For the whole day?
Yeah.
I'd like some peace and quiet.
No, we don't tell that.
We don't want no peace over here.
What would you like for the day? What would you like for the day?
No peace. Violence. Adesua has stopped accepting movie roles that has kissing or any intimate parts in them. She started going to the gym and in fact became a fitness content creator on Instagram. Okay. She has become finer and in better shape since she got married to Banky W. Somebody's like, let me break some good news. How worry. Banky W really fumbled the bag. This person has believed and concluded that is true. Okay, this is Niyola right here. Alright, I don't want the video to be slapped. That's her right there. I've always loved this song. Too Bad. I love the song Too Bad too. I really didn't understand why she didn't blow. She had a good voice and she was good, you know, a good singer. Let me see. It's unwise for Banky W to cheat on beautiful Adesua, who stood by him while he battled skin cancer 3 times. See, that's another reason why I don't believe that's him. Banky W actually has some consistent stories over the past few years. It just couldn't be him. Okay. And I stand to be corrected. Okay. If it happens to be him, it's possible. There's nothing impossible. Someone said, I'm not a prophet or magician, but the tweet above or below this is all about Banky W. Let Banky W breathe. He is not the first to cheat. You see? Conclusion. Cheating is in every man's DNA. You see, this is a problem. Violence. Violence. Cheating is in every man's DNA. Gistlover will pull this country down one day. That's BS. Okay. See, a lot of things that I pay attention to, if you haven't noticed, is basically what I pay attention to for the most part is people's interpretations of the events that are happening in life. Okay. Their interpretation of the events. I'm not really worried about the events. The events are going to happen. People will disappoint you. People will betray you. And some people will manage to actually get through life. And overall, they'll be like, that was an awesome life. For the most part, you're not going to find a perfect life anywhere. It's going to be overall, that's a legacy. We love that legacy. In fact, we continue to talk about that legacy long after they're long gone. That's the best you're going to find. The guarantee, okay? But when people look at specific events and they make conclusions like this, cheating is in every man's DNA. And the person happens to have a check mark. That means they're verified. There's somebody of some certain status. This is a person with 64,000 followers. All right. There's somebody that just read that. You know, somebody just read that and it connected with some kind of nerve. And they're like, yeah, she's right. It's just dangerous. It's dangerous, you know. Thank you so much, D, for the £5. Thanks for telling me that you're inside of the UK. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But yeah, let's dance a little bit and then we'll come back for the rest of the stories.
Everything I do, I will. My pressure to what?
Pressure Tiwa. Let's go. Pressure Tiwa. Anyway, there's a couple of other stories I want us to cover here today, and we might go in and out of the Banky W story thing, but let's get to that. I'll be right back. All right, so let's talk about this thing here, the Gist spouse nest of kin. I saw a post on Instagram. I thought we'd talk about it, right? The Gist spouse nest of kin. How many of you guys know who Don't Jealous Me Tolu is? He's been a skit maker for a long time. Those were the skit makers before there was the skit makers. Okay, and he's married. Another marriage that a lot of people fantasize about, you know. Yep. So let me see here. Ola GLB don't post Ade pic. Yeah, but there was no confirmation to it, right? I think I saw what you're talking about. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay, this is him posting his wife. Let me go to my saved. Okay, where is it? Let me see. Okay, here. Shay. All right, check this out. She posted this. Banky W cheating Adedua is unconfirmed rumors, but even if it's true, there's no reason why anyone should use their online love story as a yardstick to measure a successful relationship. Respect your parents. Some of you also condemning cheating are in many relationship clowns. Wow. Okay. Speak your truth, my G. Jesus. Sense or nonsense? He's full of shit. There's some. It's okay. It's pretty normal behavior for people to say, "Oh, they seem cute together." Okay. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean people are using this as a yardstick. If there's a fine line between you saying this, I see a little bit of sense in it, but you're also telling people not to celebrate love. Okay. Don't celebrate love. Why not? Why can't people celebrate love?
Not be juju be that.
What's you have some stories to tell us? You have something to tell us. Okay. So of course she posted this, but nothing in it. She's basically taking advantage of the clout. That's what I see here. Yeah, that's what I see. Nothing, no big deal there. But anyway, let me get back to. Oh, you guys didn't see that. You didn't see any of the stuff I just showed. Sorry about that. Let me see. I was basically showing this. Yeah, Gislova posted this. Banky W cheating is on Adesua, on confirmed, yeah, blah blah blah. Mostly dust. Okay, let's just call that dust. Anyway, so back to what we're talking about. I'm gonna go in my saved, actually on Instagram here. All right, so this is Tolu. Don't jealous me. I still didn't show what I was trying to show. It's okay.
And there's just farted everywhere.
So,
And then she just farted everywhere.
and she just farted everywhere. Okay. So this is the way this one showed their own love, right? It's okay if we laugh about this. You can see Yabo Joe. She's also always posting stuff about love, celebrating love, right? And you have a lot of people when they engage in conversations, they will start saying things like, well, that's how you compare yourself to these people that just lie on the like. Jesus, that what an assumption. Why are you assuming that people that are showcasing good love? Why the assumption, right? Right? We assume the worst case scenario, basically. And it's bad habits that actually shows up in your relationships. Okay? The way you behave in one thing is how you behave in everything else in life. If you tend to assume worst case scenario, you would tend to assume worst case scenario, right? It doesn't mean the worst case scenario cannot happen, but it's called the worst case scenario for a reason, right? That means it's really bad, right? And also, if you tend to assume worst case scenario, it speaks to fear, right? And you're going to attract what you fear the most. That's just life, okay? Somehow your behavior will align together with the universe. You will create it, right? Because what we're talking about is mostly emotional. So it's very easy to create emotional turmoils without it actually happening in real life. And before you know it, there'll be drama in your relationship just because you tend to assume worst case scenarios, right? So why am I bringing this in, right? This is the gist spouse, right? My wife is my gist spouse. We don't fall all over. This one's our clowns. We're not clownish like this, right? But we also have fun. We laugh, we chat. She comes back, she tells me stuff about her job. I tell her stuff about when I'm on sites and stuff like that. So she's like we are like that, right? But not necessarily giving her a shoulder feast on the back. But you get the gist, right? Your gist spouse, right? So I was having a conversation with an Ekene APC bishop yesterday. Let me call that person Ekene APC bishop. I was having a conversation with an Ekene APC bishop yesterday, and he goes, well, first of all, I don't know if he's married. Last time I had a conversation with this particular Ekene bishop, he was not married. But now he's claiming my wife. But these are just online people, so I don't know them personally. So it's not like we're just having a conversation on Clubhouse. And it was like, oh yeah, I'm not, my wife. Somebody said, what about your partner? I said, would it be partner? I don't get partner. My wife is not my partner. I said, okay. And then the person now asked him and said, what about who is your next of kin, right? Who is your next of kin? And it was like, my next of kin could be my brother and my sister. my brother and your sister. And then it said, and then he was already guessing where we were going with the conversation. And then he goes, well, if something ever happens to me, my brother and my sister knows to treat my wife well.
Not be juju be that.
Yeah, see on paper, common sense. I could see it. But still,
You are a mumu man.
On paper, right? Yeah, your wife is not your family. Really? Right? So my wife is not my friend. He said my wife is not my best friend. All right, so there's a difference between I have a best friend. I have a few best friends. Yeah, my wife is one of them. There's a difference between that and going to the extreme and outrightly saying, and you feel the need to say, my wife is not my best friend. That issue is long. That issue is long. That issue is deeper. Remember that story, the Akim Ashraf story, right? Everybody fantasizing about that. Came to find out that it was all trolling. It was a fake news, essentially. Nobody ever addressed. It's Nigerians. They made the news trend all around the world. It was Nigerians that created the trend. because they were fantasizing about a solution, a perfect solution where woman cannot hurt you and woman can never hurt you again. Why? Because you're never going to give her access to the assets. We got problems. This generation has problems, serious problems. So they're deep gone. Why use their pick of all couples? Because it's clout. Nigeria believe in evil eye. Wahala. I admire their marriage, Tolu and his wife. Man of Prestige, they always seem so happy and into each other. Bless them. Listen, a Tolu camping a woman in hotels in Abuja is possible. It's unlikely. You get the gist? You get it. If you don't get it, don't forget about it. Okay? It's possible, but unlikely. Does that make sense? It's possible, but it's unlikely. Let me see what I miss here. My G's. Shijari. So it's very, very important to pay attention to those, to this kind of if you really want to discernment. We're talking about discernment. There's just some things, and discernment doesn't mean you can't be wrong. It just means it means you're able to pick up BS ahead of time. Okay. For the most part, you're probably going to be right. Okay. And how do you do that? It's self-esteem. It goes back to self. People that have low self-esteem, low self-worth, they always project. They project that to other people, and they assume worst-case scenarios. Okay. People that have serious levels of insecurity, they project that to other people. It's just the way it is. Okay. So I now said, after it finished, I actually had to get off, and I told him, I said, all right, I respect your choices, opinion, because once people make up their mind and they have an assertive way of saying what your opinion is, I have to respect their opinion. But I said, okay, to everyone else that's listening to me, please do not marry a wife. Gentlemen, if you're listening to me right now, that goes for you as well. Please do not marry a wife that you don't feel safe enough for them to be your next of kin. Please do not marry a wife where you have a urge, a very strong urge and need to say they are not your best friend. Forget that they are not actually your best friend. The fact that you actually need to say that out. Please don't marry a wife like that. You collect. Okay? Don't marry a wife that you feel a need to say she's not your partner. Don't do that. You will hurt yourself. You're going to be sleeping next to this person, you'll be snoring, knocked out. And you go there, talking about, she's not my partner, she's not my friend. Listen, why are you in this conversation? Right? You know you're better off being single. You will be doing everyone a favor, including yourself. I'm not talking about my guy who is already practicing that. I'm talking about you, that you're fantasizing about. You know what? My mother is my best friend, not my wife. My mother is my family. You haven't done it. You're going to do that, and you're actively speaking this way. Nothing good is inside of marriage for you. I'm just warning you. I'm doing you a favor. I know you didn't beg me, but everyone else that's listening too. So it's not really about you. Okay? I'm speaking this out right now. If you feel negative about men, ladies, if you generalize your thoughts, your views about men in a negative manner, you assume worst case scenario. If you're saying things like all men cheat, if this occupies majority of your conversations around this topic, you collect.
Sorry.
It will just be confirmation. It will just be a confirmation, okay, of what you already believe, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what about the other person that didn't bargain for that, right? For the long-term effect of that type of mindset inside of marriage. It's really just more so about the mindset. It's not about the words. It's not about saying it, or it's a mindset. Okay, if you're telling me that your wife is not your partner, your wife is not your best friend, in the same breath, Your wife cannot be your next of kin in the same breath. There is a confirmation there. You're confirming a certain type of mindset. Could it work for marriage? It can't work. That's a fact of life. Okay? Adebusola said, did you ask the guy what he meant by she is not his partner or best friend? Well, a lot of men these days, I've had long enough. I've been having conversation with this fella and a few of them since 2021. So I have an idea, right? And what it is that they don't believe in partnership. They believe in leadership. It's the same disease of women not believing in leadership. They believe in partnership. It's a disease. Both those two things, they can't exist without another. You can't have a good partnership that results in a good marriage without a leader. Okay? You're going to resent what you're asking for if he shows up. If you find a man who doesn't know how to lead and is quote unquote partner, you're going to hate yourself in that marriage. Okay? You're not going to like yourself. You're going to, and you won't know what happened because both of you believe that you were partners, right? But with respect to everything that's happening, right? The vibe, all of that, right? You'll find yourself asking yourself a lot, like, why should I have to tell you that? Right? You'll be asking yourself every time, like, you're a man and you're asking me this stupid question. Right? It's the same disease, just polar opposite, right? It's the same problem. It's just a polar opposite, right? You have a man who is saying, no, leadership all the way, no partnership. It's the same disease. Okay? Why would I want to lead people that don't have skin in the game, that don't feel as the same vested interest in the marriage? Why would I want to punish myself like that? Right? So now I'll be that too. They believe in dictatorship, Mr. Ola. Yeah, they might even argue. The reason why I didn't extend the conversation too much because I already had long enough conversations with this particular set of people. I will continue to have conversations, but with this particular set of people, I know they've made up their mind for the most part. They won't even admit that it's dictatorship. So that makes things difficult, right? We know in action, this is dictatorship you're looking for. You're looking to just say one thing and I bet you get, and that's how it's going to be, right? A lot of time, women actually show that in behavior too. They don't necessarily say because they know society doesn't accept that. Women, if it's not their way, it's my way or the highway, right? There's a lot of women who won't behave that way. In fact, there's lots of stories around that I have for you that I'm going to be sharing with you, okay? But I have tons of stories that you want to make sure over this coming week, you want to make sure you're engaged in the content we're releasing, right? But people are being mean to each other. People go into marriage preparing to be mean to each other. Not directly, not necessarily deliberately, because they build these walls around themselves. They're actively always trying to protect themselves. They can't be vulnerable. They are afraid. There's so many bad news, and the only thing they consume is bad news. So they expect it, and that's basically what they look forward to. You know? And remember, what you fear the most, you will attract. You will create it. Right? So if they can say it's dictatorship, at least people that subscribe to that, they will know how to avoid it or to say, yes, dictatorship is what I want. And then they can subscribe to it and everybody's happy. Because really, if you have unity, everybody's going to be happy. Right? If you have unity, everyone will be happy. That, frankly, be honest with you. Okay? But if you don't know what you're subscribing to, you know, that's not really unity. It will show up as dictatorship, but you don't know ahead of time, right? So oftentimes you might find yourself in that situation and then you're like, it's kind of too late to move forward. If he's the leader, he should set his family up for success, not at the mercy of someone else in case of unforeseen circumstances. Exactly. You know. He is no marriage counselor, but you are here benefiting from his wisdom. Who's that? I missed that. All right. So anyway, the gist, spouse, is exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for a friend. Okay. Remember the four. If you haven't started going through the 30-day boot camp, please go there. We discuss this a little bit more in details. Okay. Friendship, number one. Friendship. You can basically, you can say it in different shapes and forms how you want. You can do whatever you want with that, but no friendship could last. Okay, that's even if you have sex. It's only a matter of time. That, as you know, even when it comes to Kerewa, that's ups and downs. There will be dry spells sometimes. Okay, and the only thing you have left that will spark off, that will get you guys out of that dry spell mode, is friendship. You just like that person. Forget love for a second. Forgetting love. You just like them just because for no damn reason. Okay, that's the person you're looking for. Friendship. Okay, so you're looking for the homie, the lover, and the friend. Okay, you need all of it. Okay, but you need a lover. Okay, you need to have lots of sex. Okay, don't get it twisted. Okay, and if you can't admit to friendship, then maybe we're talking about number 4 here. Pride and ego. If you think you're going to do life with another human being in 2023 and beyond, right, and they don't expect for you guys to gist, gossip, aproko, right, be able to sit on the couch and just watch TV for no reason, feel comfortable around each other, but also be okay apart sometimes, like there's nobody watching over anybody, you just feel safe. You can get knocked out right next to this person and be snoring. Even if you're a woman, you can fart around him. It's not going to catch feelings like, what is that? Why are you doing that? You can say, let's try these other things in the bedroom. It's not going to be like, who taught you that? If you think you're going to do that in 2023 and beyond, you have something else coming for you. That's unrealistic expectations you will collect.
Sorry.
Okay, but I'm patient. If you don't know that yet, I'll be here. All the stories, they keep coming out. Now here we day. So no biggies. There'll be casualties. It is what it is. All right, so that's that story right there. I'll be right back. Yeah. Let's talk about this really quickly. There's this thing I saw earlier. I heard Daddy Freeze earlier. He was talking about some young man was saying that compatibility is not necessary, and he was laughing, kiki, and he was like, hey, nya. I was like, and I was like, I was just scrolling through my Instagram. I was waiting for my wife in the car. She went inside the grocery for a second. And I saw this young man who was talking about Kerewa compatibility is a lie from Abyss to make young people fornicate. He's a life coach. He's a young man. He just got married less than 3 years ago or something like that. Solomon Bucci, right? So he's popular in this streets. Do me a favor. I need to start remembering. Follow me on Instagram. It's called Man of Prestige _ on Instagram. Yeah, please make sure you're following me. I want to tag Instablog Niger. I want to tag who else? A couple of people I want to be tagging. Tunde Ednot, Instablog Niger. Anytime I post my shorts. So please, if I forget, just tag it in the comments. Okay, tag them in the comments and help me share some of those short clips that I released to help us promote the platform. I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. So, but anyway, Instablog Nigeria is always posting this guy and his comments, and I was like, oh, this is what Daddy Freeze was talking about. So then I went in there, I started reading about one paragraph. I was like, all right, I'll read it when I just stopped. I was like, I think it'll be interesting to bring that today and read it. Okay, so, but I've seen a few of his stuff that I wanted to bring up in the past, but you know, I kind of like, he didn't make it, but he made it to the Man of Prestige. So shout out to him, you know. Yeah. So let me see, before I go, let me see, what did you say? D said Daddy Freeze is happy in his marriage but gives contradictory advice. Yeah, definitely, I agree with that 100%. You know, Daddy Freeze, but the good news is that he doesn't claim to be a marriage counselor. You know, I think Daddy Freeze is enjoying. Let me show you what Daddy Freeze is enjoying. Okay, just to make it make sense. You don't have to be able to give good advice to enjoy good marriage. I want you to understand that. Okay, you don't have to be able to know all this stuff I talk about at deep inside levels. You don't have to do that to enjoy marriage. You never have to. Don't put yourself under that kind of pressure. These things are complex. They're very complex topics. The place I've been to know what I know, you probably don't have the resource, and you do what you do and you do it well. I do what I do it well. Okay, so thank God that the Freeze doesn't say he's a marriage counselor. I haven't seen him say that, so I'm okay with that. It's just his opinions. Right? This is what he's enjoying. Friendship. You can obviously see that between him and his girl. I don't know about the sex part, but I would hope so. Okay, but very likely they're doing well in that area. Expectations, Daddy Freeze. If you see the way he talks about this girl, there's no pressure. Okay, you know, he spent a lot of time doing these live sessions. There's no pressure anyway. It's to me, it looks like a well-managed levels of expectations on all sides. Okay, pride and ego. Outside of Daddy Freeze cursing the maniacs, the Ekenes, and people out in his comments, Ekene APC Bishop in particular, not the other one, right? Apart from that, you know, I've met him in person. He's not really an egotistical person like he shows. It's showmanship. A lot of it is showmanship, you know. So I would say if you have these 4 things under control, usually you'll be fine. Okay, now some of these 4 things that we're talking about here, to get to it is work, right? For example, you're feeling some type of way, you're in your marriage, and the person's talking about kerewa. It's the last thing on your mind. If you're in a certain place of pain, you like, so now you have to do the work to get into that area, to get into that space where, you know, kerewa is flowing, and then you'll be fine. But if you can find your way to this level where expectations are managed, egos are managed, you can't eliminate ego. In fact, we need some level of pride on both sides. Sex, right? If it's well managed, meaning decent, right? Decent, yes, with respect to the society. You can't say, hey, it's just me, I'll do it only 3 months. But anyway, friendship especially is key, and I think that's what he's enjoying. If you can figure that out, you'll be fine. But anyway, let's get back. We're still talking about Solomon Bucci. Let's talk about Solomon Bucci. Yeah, he does it for shock value, right? Precisely. Yes, let me see. I'm gonna read this to you. What is he saying? What is this young man saying? Okay, now, experience and time will tell you some things that you just won't know, even if you read it in the book. I'm sorry. This is why we call it the human experience. It's particularly what makes life sweet. You need to have the experience. You need to put yourself out there and get hurt, particularly. Okay, not because you want to get hurt, but it will happen. Okay, and it will usually happen from a blind spot. So it's not stuff you can really avoid for the most part. So you can mitigate. You can prevent a little bit more. You can do soft landing because you've heard Ola on Metaphysics say it before. But you to go collect like the rest of us in these streets, and then you will gather wisdom, and then, you know, that's how it works. Okay, so but let me see what he's saying. He said kerewa, sexual compatibility, is a lie from abyss to make young people fornicate unendingly in their pursuit for someone who will sexually outperform their last sexual partner. Okay, let's listen all the way to the context. Let's get the context first. Okay? They end up sleeping with the whole town. What you need is sexual commitment. Okay, magic can assume. And it only exists in marriage. All right. Commitment ensures fulfillment. Hence, if you're committed to someone, you'll do anything if you're committed to someone, you do anything within reason and sentiment to please them. Okay, that caveat is a big deal. That caveat, he just had it, where he said you do anything. The part where it says within reason and sentiment, these are heavily subjective concepts. Okay, these are heavily subjective concepts. Okay, so it's like, what do you mean, Adebusola? This is the part where you say, what do you mean by within reason and sentiments? There are two people involved at any point in time. So who is measuring what is reasonable enough and what is sentiment? Right? So that caveat right there is like, I do have caveats too. Okay, so oftentimes, like, that's why it seems like I might straddle the fence sometimes. It's like, which one are you saying? Is it this one? It's a dance. It's always okay. So anyway, let's continue. Emotionally, this is the case. Sexually, it's same. What?
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
Pressure to what? Okay. Let me go back, see if I understand what he's saying. Commitment ensures fulfillment. Hence, I agree that commitment ensures fulfillment just generally in life, okay? There's nothing worthwhile that you won't need commitment in life, not just marriage and sex. There's nothing worthwhile in life that you won't need a level of commitment. Yes, endurance as well, okay? Yes, but I see where he's hiding the caveat within reason and commitment. But when you go back to compatibility, right, maybe that's why they're talking about compatibility. If you go, maybe that's why people talk about compatibility, because some people are unreasonable, right, with what they demand or require in this department. But let's keep going. Sexual compatibility is the devil's buzzword. I see what you say. It's like, okay, you will just run. You just run. You say, like, if you don't have commitment, the first thing you do is you just want to run for the hills. Well, once, and then you call it compatibility. I see what he's talking about. Okay, let me be honest with you. I do question compatibility too. Okay, like, it makes me want to say, what do you mean? Like, I don't think we are most people, when they want to run away from a marriage or when they want to exit, when they feel like they're done, right, for valid reasons. They're all valid reasons. They know what they felt, they know what they saw in that marriage. Okay, one of the English word that they pull to the table is compatibility. Okay. Well, if anybody is cursing in the chat, I beg, please remove them. Don't even bother about it. If they're cursing other people in the chat, thank you. Sexual compatibility is the devil's buzzword. Think of this. As a Christian, premarital sex is a sin. You somehow fall into it, engage in it with multiple partners, and when it's time to choose a life partner, you use what you learned through sin, fornication. Not necessarily, that's an assumption. Let's go back. He's making an assumption here. He said, think of this. As a Christian, premarital sex is a sin. You somehow fall into it, engage in it with multiple partners. Okay, sure. But yeah, they call themselves Christians, right? Okay. But they're sinners. We're all sinners, right? And when it comes to choosing a life partner, you use what you learned from sin, fornication, for ascertaining whom you marry. This is not consistent. All right, so I think it's cap. I think it's capping. Okay, maybe not intentionally, Sha. Yeah, I do. The idea that you want to do kerewa with a person and you're not like comparing to another person you did kerewa with, you know, maybe subconsciously, you know, some people say you can't pair bond once you've had too many. Well, the keyword is too many, but the idea that I can't relate with it personally. Okay, where you just about to do kerewa with a person though, but okay, let me compare it to Sade once upon a time. That's not the reality. Okay, if you're in that space where you're about to do kerewa, you do it and that's it. Okay, you might compare it indirectly somehow with your experience, I guess, but it's too nitpicking. It's like these are not the issues with marriages, and these are not the issues with marriages and relationship is my point. Okay, the issues with marriages and relationship is people not having game. It's as simple as that. Lack of skills when it comes to interpersonal relationship. Lack of social, emotional, self, and power intelligence is the issue with marriages. This is indirectly telling people that if you have only just that one partner only in life, you will have a perfect marriage and you won't complain about compatibility. That's the assumption that this post is making. Overall, I question compatibility too. I do think if you marry that person, there's a chance that compatibility is not your issue. Okay, there are deeper issues. Okay, and everyone else will go through the same issues in one shape, form, or the other. Okay, if every time compatibility is such a vague, subjective thing, we can say it like that and leave it alone. There's no need to pull fornication, sin, the devil, abyss, and all this thing into it. It's not that we're complicating it. Right? What we need to be talking about is that once you find yourself inside of a relationship with a person, romantic relationship especially, there will be crisis and conflict. Can you handle it? Do you have the tools in place to resolve these conflicts when they show up? The conflict seemingly has nothing to do about you. It's your mother-in-law. It's your sister-in-law. It's the fault of her friends. They are teaching her all the nonsense. Can you handle this stuff? Do you have the skills, the game to handle these issues? Because these issues will show up. Even if he's washing your pata, even if he's washing the plates in the kitchen, these issues will show up. These are the issues we need to be talking about. It's either we'll go to extreme spirituality and we'll come back from the spirituality, or you're asking your husband if he finally wash your pata, everything will be fine. All he needs is to wake up in the middle of the night and share 50-50. Everything will be perfect. It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay? He continues, how do you seek godly marriage? Listen, what I just said is all about godly marriage. There's no promise anywhere that once you marry as a virgin, you have very minimal one body count, that suddenly everything will be perfect. There's no such promise anywhere. Okay? How do you see godly marriage? Through sinful desires and acts? Not relevant. Kojo. It's not relevant, Kojo, at all. Adibusola, see you. I'll come right to you. Let me finish reading this. How do you measure a potential partner with the perversion you learn from porn? You're assuming that people learn perversion from porn. That's an assumption. Do people do? Yeah, people do learn perversion from porn, of course. But what I'm saying is that you're assuming that the people that have good marriages did not watch porn. That's what you're assuming. Okay? This has nothing to... I'm not talking about if you should watch porn or not. That's another topic. But I'm saying pulling in all these different things into compatibility is just complicating it. If they're not compatible, they feel not compatible, you need to acknowledge that they don't feel compatible. It's as simple as that. Well, not oversimplify, but you need to unpack that, particularly by listening to that person but not making generalized statements. These are all generalized nonsense that's skewed by religious views. Okay, sex is important, but the sexualization of marriage and even our partners is a spirit of lust at work. Now that's BS. You need to have lots of sex with your partner. Don't let anybody demonize that with talking points or fancy English words and paragraphs. Okay, sexual compatibility says, I'm going to test you, and if you're not good enough, I'll leave you. Nope. Could make sense. It's not adding up. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to wait till marriage. And even if you're not good enough at first, I'll stay committed because we have forever to grow in pleasing ourselves. Yeah, it does sound like a person that doesn't really have much experience. Okay. It's very true that people can get into a space. Okay. It's very true that people can get into a space where it's just dry and they might question compatibility. What we need to do is listen to them, see what they have to say, what's going on. You might just, if you listen first, then you have a chance of having a solution. If you don't listen, if you're going to assume pornography addiction, assume that they have multiple body counts from before, you can't help anyone if you make these assumptions. Sexual compatibility is impatient, and so is lust. Therefore, sexual compatibility is lust. No, he's demonizing people that feel sexually incompatible. You can't do that. It's like demonizing people that can't seem to forgive you. They're having a hard time. You can't manipulate people into forgiving you. You can't manipulate people to be compatible with you if they feel that this guy, you don't know how to. I don't feel it. It's not happening. You can't manipulate that with Bible verses or Bible talks. It doesn't work. Sexual commitment understands sex as a duty as much as, no, it's not. See, delusion. But bad delusion. Sex as a duty as much as it is for pleasure. Nah, it's one or the other. With respect to what we're talking about in this context, it's one or the other. Okay? If the fact that we can procreate with sex is byproduct, is thank God. It's like thank goodness. It's like that's God's work right there. That's not something you decide, because you can even do sex as duty and stuff, and God said you're not gonna have children. Kiloveshi. What do you go do? It gives room for growth and a safe space for vulnerable intimacy. No, Oyinbo. Stop looking for porn stars to build a godly marriage with. In fact, these defiant sexual desires are a result of disobedience to God. If we all stay sexually pure, sexually pure, what is that? This thing. Anyway, you won't go into marriage wanting 50 styles in 10 minutes or desiring 9 inches. That's an assumption that women want 9 inches. Assumptions everywhere. These are work of flesh.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
Pressure to Adebusala, pressure to Oh, you did, yeah. Adebusala, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. Can I ask you a question about something you said earlier?
Yes, please. Feel free.
Okay. So when you were talking about the person you had the discussion with in Clubhouse.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna play this just so I can put something there for my people to work on, and then just 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right, sorry, Jare. Go ahead, Adebusola. I'm hearing you.
Okay, so when you said the guy said that the wife is not the friend, is not the best friend.
Not the best friend.
That
Yes.
is she the partner. Like for the partner part, I understand that if somebody is your wife,
Mm-hmm.
that makes the person like automatically your partner. Like a wife is like a partner.
Yes.
But the part of best friend, I do feel like in a lot of relationships and marriages, I think people have best friend and they also have their either their spouses or their partner as
Right.
well. And sometimes the best friend is not the partner or this or the spouse. So maybe like in that regard, I feel like I kind of agree with him in a way in that regard because like some of the things that people complain that breaks up relationships sometimes
Right.
is when people pedestalize, like maybe when people put whoever they are with as their all, like the friend, the wife, the father, the mother, or whatever. And sometimes some things are meant to be separate. Like the role of like maybe a best friend might be different from that of a partner or that of a wife
Yeah.
or that of a husband. There are some things that friends discuss among themselves, like that they don't really discuss like with the partner or and vice versa. And
Right.
so I felt like in that regard, maybe, like although when I asked the question about you asking him what he meant
Yeah. What he
by
meant by that. Oh, yeah.
that was what I meant. That was what I was alluding to
Right. Right.
initially. So like I don't know, like is that rightly bad? Like from your own perspective, is that rightly bad that someone's either wife or partner is not the person's best friend?
I see. I see. No, it's a good question. It's a good question, and I do have answer for it. Right. When I was saying it, I was very particular about the fact that he went out of his way to make that point. Right.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like I was very particular about that. Like he
Okay,
wanted.
it wasn't something he mentioned in passing or
Yes.
like, oh, okay.
Yes, and I also made the point that if in the same breath those three things are aligning, your wife cannot be your partner, your best friend, and your next of kin. That issue is deeper than just best friend. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Okay, it felt like it's probably his belief.
Yeah, it's a mindset. It's a mindset in particular, right? It's not necessarily. It's not necessarily. It's not necessarily the particulars of the exact statement. You're absolutely correct. It depends on the dynamics of people's relationship, their marriage, right? And some people they function better by having a certain level of space.
And separating.
Yeah, like people have their friends, you have your friends. We'll come back together. We'll do family, right? And so some people need a healthy, and some people have trauma around that. Like maybe they used to be with a partner that smothered them to death, like you said, by pedestalizing them, and it's just you, my whole world, and they like they can't even step out to go to the grocery, right? And it's a big deal, So that's why context matters in these conversations, right? That's why, thank God you said that. Like, what do you mean? If somebody says something, like, before you assume what they mean, like I said, I've been having conversation with him for 2 years, so I kind of have an idea what he meant. And especially that those three things line up, right? But when it's a mindset, the scriptures talk about two or three, right? When two or three people gather, yeah, you establish certain things, right? So when it's a mindset, you notice that the talking points are aligning. This is just a person who basically needs to separate. It's a dictatorship talking point, basically. They think that's what works in the marriage, and you and I know that that's not gonna work, because it's not just the friendship that you'll be behaving like that in. You'll be behaving like that in everything else. You don't, like, you keep secrets. You think you should build your own house separately, and we're going to the extent where people are suggesting that we should live in two different apartments. It's just next to each other, just like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, but we live separate. Some people are suggesting that we should have a term or marriage license. That means 2 years. After 2 years expire, you can choose to renew it or not, right?
And what that living apart, like, isn't necessarily bad. Like, it's a kind of family model. I think some people they do it, especially in Nigeria. Like where maybe their dad works in Abuja and they stay in Lagos. Like the family is based in Lagos and maybe their dad comes over like maybe during the weekends or they go over during the holidays. I feel like some family models like is like I don't know how like you are not in Nigeria, so like the Nigeria economy, like people where people get jobs and how they make money like dictates a lot of living arrangements like for them. Like so I know a lot of family that they are doing that living together apart model and it's
Can
working.
you tell me a little bit more about that? So they have apartments next to each other, or just different houses?
No, like I'm talking about like maybe they work in different states. Like maybe the
Oh,
family they used to be in Lagos, for instance, and maybe the company now the husband get
right.
promotion and move to Abuja, and they're already established in Lagos. Maybe their businesses and everything is there. So you will see such families like the wife and the children will might be in Lagos and the husband is in Abuja, and they kind of make it work like they living together apart model
Right, right.
family system.
So
So
that's a different thing entirely. That's circumstances, not necessarily the family model, right? I think there was a conversation around that like 2-3 weeks ago, where people were saying, can it be long distance permanently? That it doesn't. The pastor Ibiyomi, that was saying if your wife lives in Canada and you live here, this would be an example where he's right. If you deliberately like separate your family, right? It's not like the company moved, right? You just say this is a model, right? For a typical person in 2023, it's not going to work. There's one partner, at least one of the partners will feel like, why are we doing that? Maybe the other partner likes their space, but the other partner is like, why are we so far apart? And there were also rumors, if I'm not wrong, that this is one of the things that created division between Yul Edochie and the wife. He used to spend a lot of time in Enugu and they were in Lagos or something like that, I'm not sure, right? So it's not like it can't work. There's nothing that can't work, and there's nothing that's wrong, right? It's about you and I as a spouse. Did we subscribe to this? Truthfully, this is what we decide we're going to do, right? If we both agree, then anything can work. We're talking about the possibility now, but is it probable, right? What are the chances that it will work? It's almost none, because we know people, right? Once we're supposed to be doing life together and I'm living in another town and I'm a human being, no matter how righteous I am, you know what happens to righteousness, right? And I'm alone in another town entirely. I'm hanging out, acting like a bachelor on a consistent basis. It's highly unlikely that it can work. It's not like it's not possible, but it's unlikely. That's my opinion anyway. But I think back to the original, right? It's the family more people fantasize about love. We know that it's not perfect. The idea of being in love, right? It's not perfect. In fact, that's precisely why people love it, because it's a frame of reference from what could be, right? And what I have. So that's why you see people love the Banky W's. People love certain perfect pictures, the Anti-Joker, Silver, Olu Jacobs, all those kind of stuff. People love that because of the same reason why people love the idea of paradise. One day we'll forever be in paradise, right? It's like an end to all of this suffering.
But there will be no sorrow.
No sorrow ever. People fantasize, but I can't stop people from fantasizing about that. That's what creates this experience. You do it in romance, you do it in business. You want a business, you keep working on this dream. It may never come to fruition in reality. In fact, most businesses, 95% of them will fail within first 5 years. But yet people will go and try business, right? They try to become entrepreneurs, right? But that's what gives us the experience, being on a journey, being able to strive for greater, for better, right? So yeah, I it's not about right and wrong at all. I think it's possible. I think it's probably won't happen. I think the idea of people living separately. I think when you've gone through some experiences, you kind of fantasize about that. Like, for example, it's a real thing. There's at least one partner, when they're going through separation, at least one partner is feeling smothered to death. They want just some space. They're tired, right? So if that person wants to advise, if that person become a Solomon Butcher, be that they freeze on internet, if he wants to advise person, what you go say?
Okay.
You get it?
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
There's a question that I really want to ask. There's this guy in the chat that said guy talk. What's guy talk?
Guy talk. Well, let me see.
He said you were doing guy talk or something.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm toasting all of you guys here. I'm just looking to collect. Maybe I'm looking to collect panties in the back channel.
It was when you were talking about this next of kin thing.
Let me see. When I was talking about next of kin thing, let me see. Which was it? Was it APC Bishop or Timmy or Shivajo? Oh, yes, Timmy. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can. Yeah, this was a troll, but I think what he's basically trying to water down what we're doing here. I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, he doesn't have a real thing to say.
Okay.
It looks like it's been blocked already. Yeah. Yep.
Then next, I also want to touch on this Bucci thing. Is this Solomon Bucci?
Solomon Bucci, yes.
Okay, so is it not the same guy that give like a backhand compliment to the fiance the other time? Like they say, you might not be the most beautiful.
Yes, blah, blah, blah. I think so. Okay. He talks too much. One thing, I think so. I think I remember that story. Yeah, I think so. I think it was him. That was when I was still getting familiar with his brand. His problem is essentially the same thing. If you notice, it's too much English. I probably have the same.
I do feel like it's just like, I don't think like this particular message that you are reading, I don't think it's bad, especially for youngsters. Right. But like the way you articulated and the way you worded it might be a little bit problematic, like for people receiving it, kind of, because like him telling people not to be testing what's that word?
No test
for sexual compatibility up and
right.
I just think it's not a bad idea for young people, like
to test multiple sexual partners.
Yes. Like,
why is that? Tell me why you think so. Because you're going to the other extreme now. But go ahead, tell me why.
No, I'm not saying they should test. I think I agree with him.
Okay, you agree with him that they shouldn't test. They shouldn't be testing. Yes, I agree with that too.
Because I feel like, for the most part, especially people that are young, that are not up to like marriageable age, maybe people that are still in high school, like going into a uni. What do like if you're in a relationship at that time? What's the purpose? Like I ask people like, what's the purpose of that relationship? And we have a lot of people that have like years of trauma because they keep getting into this relationship that they know nothing about, and they have no idea what they were doing.
Right.
And I do feel like this talk that he's actually talking should be something that parents should have. Kind of talk that parents should have with their words, hoping that they listen. Like for the most part, I feel like some of them will listen, because if you ever have years of trauma, falling in on love, falling out of love, by the time you're ready to get married, like you're going to carry all those trauma, like from all these different relationships.
It's a problem.
Like, into the marriage. So I think I kind of outside, even Christianity aside, morality aside, just for self-preservation, like I feel like it's actually it would be a good practice. Yes, right. I feel like it's not something bad, like for society in general, like for people to like not be testing waters. Like,
Now, it's
but
good. It's good that you came up and say that, right? And I agree with you, right? If you notice from your delivery so far, in your submission so far, you haven't said much about sexual compatibility. You're just talking about self-preservation and not collecting trauma. And I do preach that here, right? I do go against people advising people to wait till 35 before they get married, because between 15 and 35, you just collect and then you come and be projecting to the rest of the world, right? So I agree 100% with that. The issue in this post, the first phrase is sexual compatibility.
okay,
Over here, it goes into sexual commitment. And the next is sexual commitment. He's talking about he's linking that together with sexual compatibility. He's basically demonizing people that are basically saying what I'm going through with this partner is sexual compatibility. It's basically discounting the existence of such a thing as sexual compatibility completely, right? Then you go to this one too, same thing. Sexual compatibility says, I'm going to test you, and if you are not good enough, I'll leave you. That is a false statement.
but people do it.
No, people don't. People are just having sex because people have sex. That's not why they're doing it. You see what I'm saying?
People, like I've heard this is not the first. Like I've heard people say these things, like that before they get married, like that they would like to know whether they are sexually compatible with the person. Like it's okay. Like I don't know. Like I feel like.
Do you think so? You're saying they shouldn't do that, right? Which I agree with, right? They shouldn't be testing.
For you to be sexually compatible with somebody. Let's say let's accept the premise. You are testing for sexual compatibility. Like, what if, like, after the person get married, something happens to the partner, or the partner gets sick, or like there are a lot of things, a lot of factors that people don't consider in this
exactly
sexual compatibility. And I also strongly believe that you don't need experience, like prior sexual experience, for you and whoever you want to. If let's say marriage is the goal for you and the person you want to get married to be compatible. You don't. Like, I don't think you
do too. The funny thing is that, okay, so we are agreeing on a couple of things. I wanted to see if I can separate it, right? I don't think people need to have sex ever before marriage to enjoy sex in the marriage. I think he's right about that part, that's a lie from the pits of hell. Okay? He's right about that part. What I'm saying is that you can do all of that and still end up not being sexually compatible. Maybe not as a reality, but you feel that way. You feel like, I'm not sexually compatible with this person. You don't have to have previous experience before you realize that whatever we're doing in this bed, I know they feel I don't enjoy it. It's not what I thought it would be like in my head before I got into marriage. But he's linking the two together as absolutes. As in, like, sexual compatibility means I'm going to... No, sexual compatibility means somebody's already in it. That's what that topic means. We're in it. We're not feeling each other. The level of attraction is low. After we do it, I don't want to do with you again. That's what that topic is. Now, are people, based on what you were saying, are people using this excuse to go and be sleeping around? Yes, I think so. But that's not what they're the one that are wrong with what sexual compatibility means. But that's not what it stands for. You see what I'm saying?
So what is sexual compatibility?
Is
it not?
Go ahead. Okay. No, go ahead. No, finish your question.
Like, I do. What is it though? Like, from your own perspective? Maybe we are talking about two different things.
So usually is feelings, okay? It's low level of attraction. When people have low level of attraction, what they conclude is that we're not sexually compatible, right? Now, the assumption that I'm disagreeing with was that?
Do people get married to people that they are not attracted to?
No, sometimes attraction goes up and down, like the stock market, right? So instead of understanding that self-awareness that this is real life, we can do something about this, right? What they do is they run for the hills mentally. And one of the things they run to is accuse sexual compatibility. They just assume we're not sexually compatible. They used to be, right? And yes, people, by the way, there's another story that I have in mind. I will give it time before I tell it. Yeah, people do get married to, especially here in the Yankee or in the Western world, people do get married to people they're not sexually attracted to, maybe for papers, maybe for other agendas and stuff like that. People do that, you know.
No, wait a minute. Like, I'm sorry. Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Like, they don't like the person at all.
Yeah, they just like the away to aloria, the green paper on top of the guy's head. people do that, and in recent times, I'm hearing more and more of those stories. And they meant it and they wanted to make it work, but eventually that big ugly elephant head will show his head. They really didn't like that person.
I do understand that people get married to get the couple, but like you don't even like the person at all. And even physically attracted to the person, and you get married to the person.
Yeah, we're not talking about agreement, contractor. We're talking about you're not sexually attracted to the person, but this person can do papers for you. You kind of like, we'll be fine. We'll figure it out along the way. You kind of like, and the fact that, in fact, the fact that they can do papers for you, maybe depends on where you're coming from, can become a sense of attraction for you. It can become an illusion, right? Like, no, I like him. Yeah, of course you'll do paper for me, but the last thing you're thinking about is, after I collect paper, 5 years later, uncle, right? That's the last thing you're thinking about. But when that reality shows up, that problem shows up. There are people like that. It was never really about the sexual attraction, but they thought, there are people that tell themselves that they don't like sex. But eventually, they will realize that, wait, I'm horny like all these people. Oh, what's going on? And they were like, but I don't like doing it with this. Like, they want to, but they don't want this person, right? So people discover themselves in different dimensions over time. Part of the things they might discover is that I'm not really sexually attracted to this person. It can also be a momentary thing. It could be because people just had babies. It could be because people have other issues going on health-wise. It could be just the space where they are in, even career-wise, that's affecting that part of their marriage, right? Okay. But to your question, Sha, yeah, people do get married to people that they're not sexually attracted to, but they were attracted to something though. There was a value that they were getting from getting into it. Some people say because of money. Some girls in Nigeria get married to a 20-year older guy because it's going to take care of security, financial security.
Yeah, but and they kind of like the person.
That can be sexy. Yeah, true. That can be a sexy thing. That could stimulate that part of the brain, make you feel like, if you feel safe, secure, right? The person takes you out, travel, Dubai, all that kind of stuff. But if the person go broke, Sha,
the affection goes.
Yeah, it might just disappear. Some people grow on each other too. Some people like that. Some people suggest arranged marriage. They say it will grow on you, and the reality is that does happen too. In 2023, the chances are very slim to none because of social media. People fantasize about people with six packs and at least people that are fit, right? And if you don't make sure that the attraction is there, I think it's a dangerous game that people play, Sha. Because we're talking about a lifetime.
Or at least they should have like similar values. Like they should align in that area. So there's something that can keep them going. Like eventually, if they are together, that was what I was just going to ask.
Right on time, 7 p.m. Thank you, Adebusola. Anytime, you're welcome up here.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
All right, that was a good one. Nice discussion. Thank you for everyone who is here today. Okay. All right, I'll see what I can do, D-Love, this week. I will see about something that I can possibly do about our afternoon shows. We'll see what we can work out, okay? I'm going to look into some things. Marriage of necessity cases now, It's real out there. People just don't know what agenda people have, But I think it's a dangerous game, But shout out to Adebusola for helping me elevate the conversation. I appreciate you all. All right. So now, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. Oh yeah. We should have something tomorrow, definitely. Okay. But I appreciate you. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.